it's time for another pastor's message here at Avondale Memorial Church. Last Monday evening at our board meeting, the decision was made for Avondale Memorial Church and Plus One to return to public worship meetings. Now, the capacity for those meetings will be a maximum of 100 persons, and we are delighted to be able to return to church on October the 3rd. Now, as we prepare for that, we would just like to remind you of a few things. That is that if you feel at all unwell, or if you have a compromised immune system, if you are able to watch the church services online or via the link in the village, then we would encourage you to continue to do that. If you know of people who may not have access to the live stream feed for church, then please do encourage them to register and to be able to come to the public worship service from October 3. On October 3, we will be meeting here in the church. We will pre-register people, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that in a moment. But we won't be here for Sabbath School, so we'll have our live stream Sabbath School as normal, and the doors will open around 10:30 for people to come in for the 11 a.m. worship service on that day. So we would just ask for you to be mindful on that day. If you are going to choose to come to church, we would like for you to pre-register. We'll tell you next week how you can do that. We're going to have a phone number available where you can make a call and say, yes, I would like to register to come to church on October 3. We would like to highly recommend that you wear a mask when you come to church that day. The government recommends the wearing of masks in public places, as does our conference and as does our church leadership. And so we would encourage people strongly to encourage them to wear a mask unless they are presenting up the front. We would also like to remind you to remain distance from one another 1.5 metres from those who are not part of your household. This perhaps is the one area that is the most difficult for us to manage, because we all like to get together, right? We like to be able to be close to one another. We like to hug each other. We like to shake one another's hands. However, we are asking you to refrain from that so that we can maintain the 1.5 metres distance that is required. We will give you more details in newsletters and next week's video as to how you can register and how you can prepare for that. But we are delighted, as I say, to be able to contemplate coming back to church on the 3rd of October. On October 3, entry to the church will be by a single door, and that will be the door at the top of the ramp on the east side of the church. That is the side of the church that is opposite the church library. That will be the door that we will be using. We will encourage people to wear masks, as we have mentioned. And also, we want to let you know that whilst we believe the risk across New South Wales is lower than it has been in some previous months, we also recognise that there will always be some risk to us gathering together. And we must take that into account when making personal decisions as to whether or not we will attend church on a given week. So we're delighted to be able to welcome people back on the 3rd of October, and we'll give you more news in the newsletter and in next week's pastor's video.
Our children's Sabbath schools continue to meet, from beginners through to youth. If you have attended Sabbath school, you may join us for Plus One worship by registering using the link on the Facebook group page. From October 3rd, Plus One will be opening up for public worship. If you want to join us, you can get the link of the Plus One Facebook group. As you may well be aware, we need to maintain COVID security and safety measures. So when you come to Plus One, please maintain 2 arms length distance between yourselves. I know it's tempting. As you're standing around, you want to chat and you want to be closer, but we do need to maintain the 1.5 metre rule. The conference and the government strongly recommend the wearing of masks, And so when you attend Plus One, we recommend that you wear a mask too.
Here at Avondale Memorial Church, we believe that life groups are an important part of any healthy church. Starting in October, after the school holidays, we are launching our life groups. Some have already started, so you may already be part of some, and more will be continuing. If you would like to host a life group, or if you would like to lead a life group, if you've got a great idea for a life group, please come and see one of the staff. Contact me, Pastor Peter or Pastor Susan, and we will make sure that we get you involved. Thank you for your willingness and your desire to be part of this very important ministry. We would love to see our church thrive and grow, and our members and people of the community meeting together to fellowship and care for each other. And that's what life groups are all about.
This week in Avondale Memorial Church, Pastor Clive Nash will be taking our Sabbath school lesson. In the big church, Pastor Peter will be taking the service on a matter of life and death. Don't miss out. And in Plus One, we will be finishing our youth series. Also, we'll be honouring our Year 12s with a special gift in Plus One. Please continue to pray for our Year 12s as they have had quite a difficult year, and we want to support them in every way we can.
We'd like to say a huge thank you to all of you for your faithfulness in returning tithes and offering. Some of you have been returning your tithe and offering via the e-giving app. Some have been physically dropping it off into the office, and some have been depositing their tithe and offering in the letterbox slot in the breezeway door. We want to encourage you to keep doing whatever is comfortable for you. The breezeway slot will only be available during daylight hours. So if that has been the primary way that you have been returning tithes and offerings, please ensure that you do that during daylight hours, and that's when it would be available. So thank you very much for your faithfulness and all that you have been giving.
We hope you can join us online via the live stream for this coming Sabbath worship service, where Brad Sharp will be making his commitment to Christ through baptism. So we're delighted to be able to have a baptism here in the church building this coming Sabbath, and we hope that you can join us for that. You know, Jesus taught us many things. He taught us how to pray, and he taught us about what the Father was like. And in Luke chapter 11 and verse 9 through 13, he says these words: "So I say to you, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you."
For everyone who asks receives, the one who seeks finds, and to the one who knocks the door will be opened. Which of you fathers, if your son asks for a fish, will give him a snake instead?
Or if he asks for an egg, will he give him a scorpion? If you then, though you are evil, know how to give good gifts, how much more will your Father in heaven give the Holy Spirit to those who ask him? Thank you for joining us this week. May God bless you. Have a safe and pleasant week, and we look forward to worshiping with you very soon. God bless.